Hello, and this is the February 18th Wednesday Get to the Roots radio show in review, just reviewing my playlist. Hi, I'm Get to the Roots Steph. This is Get to the Roots Extras, the podcast companion to my radio show Get to the Roots, where I do two things. And the first thing is I get to the root of things. We had a broadcast or a podcast episode come out recently about practicing, and one should have just recently came out by the time that you're hearing this, about procrastination. That one I worked really hard on. I wrote the script ahead of time and gave you some interesting information about that. Also coming up, I have another longer podcast episode. The script is mostly written, and that is about the top 250 songs of the last 25 years as according to Rolling Stone. And I try to go kind of deep on what makes something popular. So that's coming up soon here on Get to the Roots Extras. But today we're going to talk about the show that I put together on February 18th. Now that was last Wednesday, and actually like the Wednesday before by the time this one comes out. So unfortunately, I'm still running behind from the flu. And also, you're going to have to excuse me. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter one today, though this past Get to the Roots was very important. My neighbors are having a party and have fans on and everything in the room to drown out the party. And I'm having to talk kind of loud and put the microphone right up by the speaker so that you can hear the music, and hopefully everything comes through okay. Podbean does have a very cool AI tool that takes out some of the noise and also helps with the levels. So this last week, now that I'm recording this, but 2 weeks ago, when by the time that you're hearing this, or longer, if you're further in the future, I wanted to feature two of my favorite people on the planet, in the atmosphere, on the planet. Fiona Frensche and Linda Horrell. They both know each other, which is also cool. I let both of them know that they were featured and the other one was featured. And Fiona was like, oh, Linda, she had a term for French, in French for Linda. And basically there is a French term that Fiona told me that Linda is, and it's basically like a body of love. And Fiona said it in her cool French accent. And I was like, oh, that is so neat. And that's so Linda. They both are good female vocalists of a certain age. Yes, I have to say that. I'm a certain age too. So are you. We're all certain ages. But they have a mature style, both of them. And a lot of work has gone into their music over the years, refining the sound and really getting great sounds for both of them. And also, both Fiona and Linda have songs in different genres. But they also had the releases that fit into my show pretty well. So Get to the Roots, my show, it's a folk show. It's not the Florida Folk Show, but it's in full support of the Florida Folk Show. And the mission of Get to the Roots is to play Americana folk and roots music. Although I do play covers and folk rock as well. And sometimes a little bit of rock and roll. Slip it in there a little bit, because what's more American than apple pie and rock and roll? Okay, yes, I know Americana is not American, but it's close. All right, anyway. So one of the songs I played this past week or 2 weeks ago now is Ramblin' on My Mind by Fiona Frensche, and it sounds a little bit like this. Yeah, that sound right there, that's the Get to the Roots sound. Right there. That's actually, honestly, that music might be a good instrumental beginning, honestly. All right, let's skip forward to the center of the song so you can hear her sing.
I'm going down to the station, catch the fastest mail train I see.
Oh, that's my girl Fiona. She sounds so good. Hell yeah. Okay, so I played that. I actually started with a Valerie Carter song. I love Valerie Carter for that hour. So right before Ramblin' on My Mind by Fiona Frensche, which is what we just heard, I played Millstream by Valerie Carter and Howdy Moon, which sounds a little bit like this. Here's the beginning of the song. Hold me down at the Millstream. Very 70s folk music vibe on that. I love that song. That song is great. And I was like, oh, that kind of really fits with Fiona and Linda's vibe. Okay, so the first hour I played for Linda Horrell is I played Gonna Get the Love She Needs. That is this song. See? Total folk vibe. All right, let's skip ahead so you can hear her sing.
And her, she Frenched the love she needs.
Yes! Just like Fiona, Frensche, Linda Horrell. Get it, girl. Beautiful. Effing beautiful. I don't know how much I can swear on my podcast without getting kicked off. I do say the S-bomb sometime, but I'm trying to stop it. But like, oh my God. Just beautiful. So I also played a Jerry Menzies song after that, Hall and Oranges. This has a great sound too. Like I just want to share this as well.
I have pulled a few loads of oranges myself. I'm hauling oranges, up and down the sand hills I go.
Oh, isn't that great? I'm hauling oranges. That'll get stuck in your head forever. Okay, just going through the first hour. I also played, I think, a couple of Sandy Atkinson songs this week. I think I played a couple of her songs last week. She's got a very bluesy sound. She's a blues singer.
Snuggle up to your buttercup. I wanna be as close as I can be.
I thought that she would sound good in the show with both Linda and Fiona being very prominent because Sandy Atkinson's a lower voice than Linda. So Fiona's like a high voice. Linda has like a high voice with like a little bit deeper notes. And then Sandy Atkinson has that low, gravelly voice. All right, so that's like a brief synopsis of the first hour. There's some other, obviously a lot of other songs I played in the first hour because it's a 2-hour show. But I always talk about some people, and I want to make sure I keep focus on the main event, which is Linda and Fiona. So in the second one, the second hour, I started off with Gypsies of the Sea by the Julian Cherkninsky Band. And I hope I'm saying that right. I probably said it wrong in the radio too, but just listen to this song. It's so cool.
From the shores of Port St. Joe to down around Bonita Springs,
Isn't that beautiful? All right, let's go towards the middle so you can get more of the sound.
where warm waters meet the sea, we call Florida our home, we're the gypsies of the sea.
I was like, yes. Okay, and then I played Seasons by Linda Horrell.
That dwells inside, where no one sees.
It's so lovely. Reminds me of Goody Haynes. Very similar vibe there. Then I didn't play Fiona right next to her this time. I broke like the music a little bit. I played Zephyr Hills by Charles Brown after that song by Linda. Very country vibe on that. More on the country end of folk. Less Americana, more country. And then so after that, I played Fiona Frenchie's Bend Your Mind. I think I've mentioned this many times, but we did a music video for Bend Your Mind for Fiona Frenchie or with Fiona Frenchie. That was the first one. This is a little bit more rock. This is like a pop rock tune, but you could think of it as like a folk rock song as well. It does have a lot of the same elements as folk rock. It's not, or folk pop even. It's not quite a rock song because it doesn't have a guitar solo and it's missing a couple other things, but it has that rockin' vibe. So that's the intro. Like you could definitely hear that intro in a folk rock song. All right, let's skip ahead so you can hear her sing on that. Whoops.
Give me your body. I wanna see it in the light. Surrender to debauchery. In your mind, your earth is grind.
See, definitely got some really gravelly notes in there by Fiona. Very cool. Oh yeah, I did play another Sandy Atkinson song this hour. I just, I should have said I featured her as well. I just don't know her as well. And I know she is also a DJ on Radio St. Pete. So I guess I could have done it as a trio. But I need to research her more. I need to get to know her better before I can properly dedicate things to her.
She's just a floozy.
What? No, Sandy Atkinson isn't just a floozy, but that is her singing about a floozy. Yeah, when I saw the name of that song, I was like, I am putting that in my show. That is hilarious.
You just wait and see.
Oh my God. The blues. Why isn't everything just the blues? Jeez, it's beautiful. Okay, so the other songs that I played by Fiona and Linda Horrell are also in this hour too. I did one by each of them in the first hour and two by each of them in the second hour. So the next one is, I always say, this is my favorite song by Fiona Frensche. It's a cover. Her friend wrote this song. It's called Jack in the Box. Again, it kind of skirts the line. Folk rock would be the closest thing that it could fall under.
He kept me under the bed. I pray for it to stop. He lie and lie on top of the latches open.
Yeah, see, a little bit about the song. It's kind of like the Toadies Possum Kingdom, but from the from the point of view of the victim. I mean, that's my own interpretation of it, but yeah, but it's so cool. This song goes so hard. Oh my God. I gotta get Fiona to let me do this music video. Oh my God.
The hatches, out comes Jack in the box. Doing tricks on take it.
So good. Okay, and so then I couldn't put the Linda Horrell's next song right next to that one because it wouldn't sound right. So in between the two of them, I played Star Named Blythe by Edwards Radio. I don't know much about Edwards Radio, but I do like that they're available for me to play on the radio because I really like their songs so far.
Well, I raise my glass to the drifters and the cowboys.
So it had like a good strong notes, but also slowed everything down a little bit and returned it to more of that folk feel in that song. And then, so the last song I played by Linda was Blue-Eyed Trapdoor.
Can't be good for me, but when you spin me around, the day is long. My heart falls through your blue-eyed trapdoor feet. Move quick, in perfect time. Now I know your love isn't mine. Now I know.
Isn't that beautiful? Oh my God, I can't imagine anyone would ever say anything negative about either Linda Horrell singing or Fiona Frensche singing for that matter. Just gorgeous. She really hit some beautiful notes there. I think that's her voice layered on top of each other. Okay, and then because it was like turning into like a women's show, I finished out the show with another season of Heartbreak by Julie Black.
La 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 la. On science, the connection was so clear. But well, the pain and start to go, and you're letting go.
I love Julie Black. Oh, that's such a good one. I usually play another song by her, but I thought that just really followed up Linda Horrell's song so nicely. And then because I was like, well, there's already some songs in here that are not hugely folk-ish, I should play Tea and Sympathy by Natalie Barber. And I just played it towards the end, actually did my sign-off before Tea and Sympathy to say the show was like ending or about to end. And the reason I did that is because I've met Natalie Barber, and I've met her because of Fiona Frensche. She's super cool, but she's like south of the bridge and don't really get to hang out much. She gets to really busy. She's like a scientist for her full-time job, but she also plays the saxophone and makes beautiful music. And this song it's really cool. It's kind of like a sarcastic woman anthem. And so here's a little taste of Tea and Sympathy by Natalie Barber.
Get better. Try make it over for 2:45 for tea and sympathy. I'll brew a pot and then lend you an ear to hear your tragedy. Birds of a feather
Oh my god, big, huge props to Natalie Barber for pulling that song together and making it sound so coherent and complete and full of sound. And big props to all of the ladies and gentlemen that I have mentioned on today's Get to the Roots Extras, this podcast companion to my show. Just such great, complete, wonderful sounds. I could hear Tea and Sympathy like like on TV, like an NBC, like in Grey's Anatomy or something, or oh god, I don't like Sex and the City. What's a better show than Sex and the City? I don't know. I could see it though on a sitcom with a large audience as like a very pivotal scene of like some kind of like snarky woman empowerment. Just like I could see Fiona Frensche and Linda Horrell's music in other similar ways utilized. And that's what I find so many cool songs because of television. Like the reason I know the John Butler Trio is because I watched an Australian health food special, and the outro song was the John Butler Trio. And I was like, oh my god, they have such a good vibe. This song is amazing. Let me look them up. And then I found out before that, I actually heard like another one of their songs that made it to the States before that. But I had no idea really who they were or much about that song until I just really heard them in that outro. And I would love for my friends especially, and myself and my songwriting partner, to get our songs into like media, whether it's traditional media like the soap opera, the evening soap operas, or what do they call them, nighttime dramas, or the sitcoms, which are dying, or reality TV shows, which were super popular, or something on cable. And if not traditional media, then I wish like it could get into more things on like the web, like YouTube and Spotify and just places like that where people could hear these songs and really feel connected to them. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Popular music is hard. All music is hard to get in front of people. Exposure is very important, and also creating that connection is important as well. And we'll talk more about that later. I do need to do my show for this week. Again, I didn't mean to be so quick with this one. I usually give more people more props, but that's all I've got for you today. That is the 2/18 or February 18th Get to the Roots broadcast on Radio St. Pete in review here on Get to the Roots Extras, the podcast where we either talk about my radio show and I give people all the love in the world, because I can't get on the radio and be like, I love this person so much. I love this song so much. It's the best. Because I would say that about everything I play, just about in some way, iteration, or form. And with some quality of it that I absolutely just dig so much. Because we can't do that sort of like superlative. I think it's like a superlative or endorsement or whatever for the community radio. I can't be like, go see all their shows. I command it. I love this person. Like I can't do that on the radio. And I would if I could. And it would get very old very quick, but that's just how passionate I feel about it. And two, the other type of episode we do here on the podcast is we try to get to the roots of things, for all things being a creator, specifically focusing on music, because since I have a long history writing, and also I do a lot of work now creating visual art. I talk about all three and a little bit about video creation as well. But I really just want this to be accessible to you no matter what medium you're in. Like I'm not going to stick with just music, because I want listeners that maybe write or draw or make videos or do something else to be able to get something out of getting to the root of creation. Because a lot of these different things that we put out into the world, they're just different ways to express that feelings, make the audience feel something, give them a gift, and create that connection. And you can do that so many different ways. Okay, I gotta do my show now for this week. I don't know what the theme is. I was all fired up last week. I was like, I'm gonna rep my two of my female besties. Not my two besties, but two of my female besties. And I hope that I made them feel good, and I hope that they loved it. And I love them. And if you're listening, I love you too. So have a good rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Next week. Next episode. I don't know when I'm going to post this. Sometime. Okay, bye.